Roll call, please.
Commissioner Babbitt?
Here.
Commissioner Sang?
No, here.
Commissioner Carroll?
Here.
Commissioner Gonzalez?
Yes.
Commissioner Amaral?
Oh, we got a full board tonight, that's great. First order of business, approval of the minutes from the previous meeting held on December 5th, 2017. Is there a motion?
Make motion. Second.
Hey, all in favor? Aye. Okay. First item is the Gannon Golf Course. Talk about the course improvements and services for contract. I think all we need tonight, as we discussed at our last meeting, we just need a motion to authorize Commissioner Hall to begin preparation for the new lease agreement. Is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make the motion. I'll second.
Okay, is there any discussion on that motion? Everybody understands what's going on? All in favor? Aye. Okay. Item number 2, Jose Alvarez, America Latino Committee, request for park use. Is there anybody here from that organization? No? Shall we wait on that? Lisa, do you know if they were coming in, or?
Jose,
Yeah.
they did the event 2 years ago.
Yeah.
We had no issues on the commons. They did it, actually, it was a combination with Juan Gonzalez.
Hey.
A little light show for the home audience, right? Let's see.
I don't foresee a problem, as long
Okay,
as
so
they
you-
follow the protocol with the insurance and the bathrooms and staffing and food.
So they aren't doing a parade or anything like that?
No, they don't do the parade, that's not their group.
So this is just,
Just 10 to 2.
and where do they usually do it?
The Lynn Commons.
Lynn Commons? What's the wish of the commission?
Oh,
I wish the lights would stay on, but
Yeah, that's what I would.
This is too funny.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
okay. Any discussion on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Joe Baglieri, how are you? Mass District 16, request for park use for the Little Leagues within this district.
Make a motion to accept.
There's a motion to accept. Is there a second?
before we make the final motion, the only thing I just want to make sure is that everyone gets the insurance in
Sent
on
out an email
time.
today, I've already received one. I
Donna,
did notice that it doesn't name City of Lynn on the bottom, so I'll be sending out an email out tomorrow to make sure they all have City
Yeah.
of Lynn as an addition.
yeah, and the only other thing too is that the manpower here at the DPW, we don't have the crews to go out there and cut the grass, trimming, and that's the responsibility of the Little Leagues.
I've been preaching to the league since I took over that if you want something, do it yourself. The less you ask of the city, the better chance you'll get them when you need them.
Right.
That's my philosophy. So I'll just pass that along.
And just the keys to the building too, just,
I will pin that.
Yeah, I mean-
I have a meeting Thursday night, so I'll bring it.
we do have keys for majority of the Little Leagues, but there are some that change their locks and they don't inform the DPW or give us a set of keys. So when it comes to turn on the water for the spring, they go down, they're on the set schedule, so they go from park to park to park, and it's not just the Little Leagues they have to turn on, they have to do traffic islands and,
I'll take care of that.
okay, thank you.
So Commissioner Amralt made a motion. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
Okay, is there any further discussion? Any more questions? No, everybody's all set? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed? Okay. Okay, Joe, you're all set.
Thank you.
Nicole McLean, request for park use, second annual Juneteenth celebration on June 23rd, 2018. How are you?
Good, how are you?
What's going on?
We're going to be having a Juneteenth celebration. Juneteenth is a state holiday that highlights or commemorates the freedom of African American slaves. It also is a day where we can talk about African American achievement. So we're just going to have poets, maybe some face painting, some education about African American history, some food. It's going to be on Lynn Common, hopefully, if you guys approve it, June 23rd, on, from 1 to 5.
Goodness.
We had no issues last year.
She-
Yeah, the only thing is, what kind of food are you doing?
Well, actually, we had like
few
hot summer
girls.
pieces, dropped off hot dogs and hamburgers.
Okay.
They
If
can't
if
have
there is any needs to cook or anything, you'd have to talk to ISD. It's,
Right, we talked about that
Yeah.
last year, yeah.
yeah,
No grills, right? Still no, you can't grill outside.
yeah. What about bathrooms and stuff?
Yeah, we did need the bathroom.
Okay, so they know what they have to do and,
So we're going to ask the groups this year that any organizations that are using our facilities, they have to have their paperwork to us well in advance, not like 2 days before the event, the day before the event. Even though you're being approved right now, you should be starting your process and all the paperwork that needs to be submitted to us, so the permits will be ready. Okay?
Lisa, how far ahead, we should make this a standard for all groups coming in. So how far ahead does your office need that paperwork?
I would say at least a month or 2 months.
So a month, is a month a good time?
At least
You get it a month ahead?
Yeah, a month ahead, just so we're ready. So if you have an event in July 23rd, June 23rd, you should have the paperwork into us in May. Yeah,
So any approval we give for any events will be contingent upon that
Right.
paperwork. So
Right.
can you remind people when they come in for paperwork? I'm looking at you, you're not going to be.
And Sue is, and Steve was going to mention at the end of
Yeah.
the meeting, but Sue is retiring as of January 19th. And Sue handles all the Board of Park Commission, all the licensing. Yes, so. So, you know, there's a lot of changes in our department for office staff, so we need to make sure that things move smoothly. And that's what we're asking everyone. Sue, you know, Sue did a
Yeah.
great job in sending emails out to everyone and calling everyone, and, you know,
Yep. She's doing all right, okay.
we're gonna miss her.
So Lisa, can we put something on the form there that says paperwork must be in, you know, a month prior to your event? Just to give them a heads up and, you know.
Right, and there's no more last-minute events, because everything has to go through the Park Commission.
But I do have a question about food trucks. Are we able to get some food trucks?
That would be something you would have to connect with ISD, Lisa Tobin.
Yeah, we just give permission to use the space. We don't control, you know, what other departments have responsibility for, so.
Thank you.
Is there any other questions, or is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Okay, you're all set. Wendy Joseph, High Rock Park Committee request for park use.
Happy New Year, guys.
Happy New Year
Hello,
to
Happy
you.
New Year.
Sue, did this letter get,
Yes, everyone received.
so, in addition to requesting use of the park, at Lisa's suggestion, after this letter was sent out right after the 1st of August, we are trying to get some city buy-in for this event, which the Park Commissioner already does with the, helping us with the insurance, but Lisa came by during the actual event and saw how many people we had there, and as I said, over 600 people. It was huge, and we definitely need some police officers for traffic, and also just keeping High Rock Tower itself safe. It's gotten to the point where it's that jammed, and I think somebody said it, might have even been Lisa, what happens if there's one incident? And we had nothing. We actually had put in request for a police officer. I had the check in my back pocket, but nobody showed up.
Who was the ward counselor up there?
Council Clute.
Richard Colucci, Councilor Colucci?
And he supports the event, he's there too, and there's a lot of people up there, so,
What is the proper way to get a police officer there to assure safety for the event?
well, the whole thing is, that's the night of the fireworks
Oh, I see.
down Lynch Shore, so the priority is gonna be at the fireworks.
Right?
So, but that's something that you should really sit down and talk to Captain Chris Reddy and see how that could be worked out, the route car maybe, or I can't answer for you on that, so that'd be something that you have to address with the police department.
Absolutely, and this is basically letting this body know that I'm going to be going forward, trying to do that, so.
Sure, yeah.
Taking it up a notch, all of the,
There
all
we
of the,
go.
all the usual things will be in place.
I would definitely say no parking around the Rotary, because that's a safety issue.
Yep.
That's what we tried to do
Right.
last year. and
Do we provide sawhorses for them,
Yes.
That we did.
cones, and
Right.
to block that off?
Yep, I would just use that for emergency access. The place was packed. I mean, it was a nice turnout. Maybe talk with KIPP Academy and see if you could use their parking lot. That's something maybe to address early.
That's an
And then
excellent
place that
idea.
on your flyer, that parking's available at KIPP Academy,
That
or,
would be wonderful, if that's possible,
Yeah.
yes. That was, so the reason why you saw some people moving up there, we were giving special dispensation to anyone
Handicapped.
elderly and handicapped, as well as the actual butters to the park.
Right.
We can inconvenience them enough with this huge thing.
all right. So I would have also some identification, so if there's an issue that they can address it. So you'd be identified, maybe bright shirts, neon shirts that you stand out. If there's need be
That's an excellent idea.
assistance.
Yeah.
And the other thing would be is maybe like spotlights. I don't know if you, I know you had some spotlights, but the generator spotlights, maybe that's something you can reach out to Brian Losey from Lynn Charges and see if you could borrow, rent, whatever for that particular night, so you have spotlights. Oh my God. Talking about lights. And maybe that's something.
Maybe Wayne can loan them to us down here.
Reach out. Those are just little extra things that you should look into, just because it's a big event and it's going to grow each year.
Yes, that's an excellent idea, and that last spotlight thing, I did not. think
Wendy,
was
does it,
great.
I know you have it for July 3rd. Maybe it would be beneficial to, at some point, move it off of the July 3rd date, if that's not a tradition. I don't know the significance of that particular day itself.
The only reason that we do it on July 3rd is that it's basically for the people of the Highlands and all of us that don't live on Lynn Shore Drive.
Oh, they get to see the fireworks,
Be able to
okay.
see the
Okay,
fireworks.
all right. I knew there was a reason, but,
There is. But thank you for your suggestions and your help, and I will keep the office informed of
Yep.
how it goes.
is there a motion to approve?
Motion.
Second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you for your help.
Okay. Mr. Machado, New England Youth Tackle Football, request to use Neptune Park Boulevard, Keeney Park, Barry Park for youth tackle football from May to July. I'll tell the board that Lisa and I did have a meeting with this group, and they explained to us what they were going to do, so I'll ask them to re-present so everybody here has an understanding of what they're going to do.
So, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
A while back, myself and a couple of the parents, right here, one of them, we noticed that in our current youth football program, there is an issue with safety. Not because of the leagues, but because of the way the national programs are structured. They allow very little time for proper safety teachings be put in place. So all the leagues only have 4 weeks to get the kids ready to go and tackle one each other. To prepare for it. And prepare for this football. That is a contact sport. So we went ahead and we started talking, myself and a couple of other parents, and we decided to form our organization, New England Youth Tackle. And with it comes our first program that focus on safety and conditioning. Our program takes 8 weeks to teach what the leagues are teaching in 4 weeks. We are teaching it in a more organized, spaced out manner, and we're also testing that our youth are learning it. So it's not like tackle this, sure. No, they're actually knowing the name of the drills, and able to execute the drills on command.
Like other leagues require just like a 10-hour before using equipment, just 10 hours in the field. We're gonna make sure the kids are tested and they pass, actually have knowledge of how to properly tackle, because there's a lot of head injuries and things like that, and our main concern is safety in the field for kids.
We, ever since we met, it's been a few things that changed with us. For example, we are not affiliated with Pop Warner or NFL, and that is by design. We don't want to be restricted by guidelines that we believe are putting our kids at some risk. So that's one thing. We also have adapted a USA Football Rookie Tackle, which is a new program that's being rolled out by the USA Athletic Commission and the NFL combined. This takes a different approach to teaching football, and it takes kids between the ages 5 and 7, and it's kind of like T-ball, but for football. There's less contact, they're not running the whole field, and they're learning each position. We're actually incorporating that to our program, which is very different than what the leagues are teaching. This will make, for that age group, it will make it 100 times safer for the ages of 5 through 7. So we already have secured a space for the first 8 weeks at LVTI building. So we want to be indoor for the first 8 weeks. Where we need your help is with the rest of the weeks, where we're going to need some times for the parks. So right now, we started our sign-up process based on preliminary information and obtaining the LVTI building. And as of today, we have about 40 sign-ups. We have 20 pending sign-ups and 25 volunteers, not counting the board. This is team moms and coaches. We are expected to hit very close to our numbers, and to have the proper amount of kids to carry on with the program.
Another important fact is our season, if you see our program, doesn't interfere with the other youth football programs that are there.
In the fall.
That are in the fall. So we're spring and summer league, and we're designed to actually help the other kids. And because I'm still currently involved, and he does.
I coach East Lynn.
Yep,
we got coaches from West Lynn. We just got some coaches from the Chargers that just joined to coach. So we got people from all over the city. And I'm telling you.
So our main focus is we're not trying to do. There's no conflict of interest. We just want to help all of you citywide, you know. And
also, a couple of notes since we met. We did get our 501c3 approved. We got our letter already. We became members of the Hispanic Chamber of Business and the Greater Lynn. We're in
Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, both chambers of commerce. To us, that is particularly important because we feel that with the Pop Warner leagues, they have their hands tied on what they do, and there is not as much transparency as the public would like. So for us, perception is very important. We also reach gold level on GuideStar for nonprofits, which there's only 2% of the registered nonprofits that are at that level. We will be at a higher level once we get our first year of returns and we file our first preliminary reports. We're going to achieve a higher level than that. I think we'll move up to platinum from that.
so we're in the middle of being sponsored with it.
Yes, we just got a very good offer from Adidas, where they're going to sponsor our uniforms and equipment, and this is going to cut costs tremendously. One of our goals is to, aside from safety, is to make this as close to free as possible as we move forward. So this year, we were able to secure some donations and some monies to allow 100 kids to sign up for $190, and the rest will have to sign up for $250. But for next year, should everything go well, we're looking at around $90 a kid. And that's just based on preliminary. If we get some more grants and everything, we probably could bring it down to around $40 a kid by next year, and probably free the year after.
And our main goal is to have safety. Number one thing is safety for all our children, and maybe having a cost-free program.
We also have had a meeting today with Girls Inc. because we're looking to increase the number of female participants in the sport also as well. And they were very impressed with the conversation. So that is another one of our goals, to increase female participation to about 25 to 30% of the overall participation on the league. Now, as far as what we need, we're looking to have practices Wednesday and Thursday, and games on Friday. That will be Wednesdays and Thursdays from 6 to 8 p.m. or so. And then on Fridays, we like a little more time to have our games too. I believe the time was 5 p.m.
Yeah.
Our games.
We're willing to negotiate that too.
Yes, if we have to work with any other leagues, we'll do so, and we'll work around. We certainly don't want to cause any scheduling conflicts for anyone, and we're flexible in that manner. We also will be playing at one of the parks because we cannot afford to play at Manning Field. The cost of having our games there, it's very high, and it'll be detrimental to our goal of lowering the cost
For the families.
to the families and the sign-up cost. We are planning on selling foods, and have already been advised of the permits that we need, and that we need to speak to Lisa Thornton. But have not proceeded to do that until we get a final decision of the board and a final approval by you guys. Our foods will be limited to burgers and hot dogs on game days. And then like snacks, that's the only cooking we're doing, just burgers and hot dogs. And then snacks and drinks and things like that.
Would it be easier from a food perspective to bring a food truck in rather than trying to cook the stuff yourself?
We can.
No, I'm just throwing it out there as an
Yes, no,
idea.
and we have entertained that idea. However, if we go with that idea, we wouldn't want it to limit it to a specific food truck. Because everyone in our board is very committed.
Right,
And
yep.
if we're going to help out one food truck, we're going to bring in other food trucks too, to come and help out. So that is something that we will definitely consider. Yes.
Lisa, what are our concerns from a park commission perspective?
Well, we still have to work out scheduling, because
Right.
we have softball leagues in there, the men's
Yeah.
and leagues, and the women's leagues are at Fry Park, so that's not my concern. But Felix is here tonight, and one of your requests is Keeney Park, and he does have game nights on Wednesday nights from 4 to 8, so that's a problem right there.
And when does outside start? In April?
March.
Outside,
it starts April
10th?
Well, actually, yes, whatever we put there.
April
I don't have
10th,
the exact
okay.
Calendar. So that is correct, whatever it says in there.
Also for practice, though, we wouldn't be limited to, we can always.
Yes, so we
During
can,
practice,
yeah, I mean, we've seen them play before, and we all fit in the same park. They're actually very kind to us, and they tell us, hey, we're gonna start playing, so move the teams, and we just shift to the other side, and we make room for them.
We just have to make sure, too, is Pedro Morales make sure his field's at
Super good. So, yeah.
AAU, so.
Yes, we're,
So what we're gonna have to do is probably bring all the groups around the table together and coordinate. So there's no, like we did with Lynn Charges and East Lynn Pop Warren, we
Okay, yes.
met at the site and we did discussion. So like Barry Park, there's a softball league also. I'm not sure on the dates they've confirmed yet, any dates with us yet, but they have permission to use that. And then we have Little League down there. So
Okay.
we don't want kids getting.
Lisa, would Magnolia or Gaudy be alternatives for practice fields?
Gaudy Park is used for Wyoming Little League, so that would be a
Okay,
problem, because they use the two fields.
they use the
down
two fields.
that could also be an option. We're using 2 different fields, one for practice, one for games.
Yeah, we plan on having our games where whatever is, out of the 2 parks, so we will need the 2, we will need
Yeah.
East Lynn and LVTI.
Well, LVTI, there's one goalpost up right now, I believe, and that's another problem, having the goalposts up there when there's softball or baseball leagues. I don't want anyone.
But we can,
running into those.
if there's one up, we only have one group of youth that are going to be kicking field goals. The other groups are not allowed to kick field goals because of the implications and with safety in the formations for field goals. So it will only be our 14U, the only ones kicking field goals. So we can, if there's one up, we can work with that.
Yeah, you can always turn the offense around just to be facing the
Exactly. That's
goalpost.
what we'll do. We just turn the other side to face that one, and and that would be it. And most of the time, it's very seldom that even at that level that coaches would rather run the ball.
They ought not to kick it.
They rather
The old 2-point conversion, huh?
Yes, yes, it's very common. Just because kicking takes skills, and you have to find a kicker, you have to train them where to kick and to win, and there's just not enough
Yeah.
time.
Our target is kind of like from 5 to like middle school.
Yes,
We're trying to stay away from the high school athletics.
yes.
So,
So 5 to 10, 5 to 11?
5 to 14, we are allowing some freshmen to play as of now, just because of the demand. We do have a couple of high school coaches and assistant coaches that want to see kids be active through the summer, so that they can come in and look at them and see how they're doing.
so we have some volunteers.
Yes,
some high school
and some of them are even volunteering to help out there within our volunteers list. So there's a lot of interest, so that's why we opened up the 14U. Originally, we did not have a plan for a U14, should I say, but with the demands and then coming on, we decided to go ahead and X14 is just very awkward for the kid. They've been playing ball all along, then they get to high school, it's a new experience. They might not end up playing ball that year because they didn't make the cutoff or whatever it might be. So we decided to let the freshmen come on down, but it's going to be a very limited.
Sounds like you guys have planned this out pretty well.
Couple years in the making.
So it's been a couple of years, and
Does this model an existing program?
no, we created our own program. We went off the national, which is USA Football, and they are directed by the NFL. We decided to do that because we feel that they're the ones doing the most research on youth sports safety.
Especially with head concussions.
Yes, Pop One, as much as I love Pop One, once your kid reaches a certain age, it's done. That's it. There's no more going anywhere. The same goes for YFL. Once you maxed out your last team with the Chargers, you either play high school and you go on. However, with USA Football, it's not the same. Next week, they'll be having the national teams. They picked 50 kids at each age, so U19, U18, 17, 16, and so on throughout the country, and they will be playing against 8 or 9 different countries, and it's all an Olympic-style modeling for the progress of the sport. And I think we're better off following that, because our kids will be playing at that level. They'll be better looked at when they're in high school. You know, we will have more accessibility into getting these kids an opportunity to get a full ride, you know, into college. You know, I don't know if you guys saw the Alabama game. That kid's 19-year-old. He's been playing since 5. Full ride to go to Alabama. You know, that is where it's at for the parent. You know, that is what the parent needs to keep, you know, their eyes in. Football gives more scholarship than any other sport. More than baseball, $12,000 per child, more than baseball. There it is, and any other sport. So we think that the USA football model, it's the way to go for us.
So Lisa, we'll be able to accommodate them on some of the space, we're just not sure where.
Correct. We have to sit down with all the
Okay.
softball leagues and
Yeah,
coordinate.
so there will be some space, we're just not sure exactly where and when yet.
And the one in question is East Lynn, right?
Keeney Park, yeah. Because they're playing Wednesday nights, Monday and Wednesdays, and you're requesting,
We're practicing Wednesday, so we're willing to practice somewhere else and possibly have our games Friday night at Keene.
We are very, very, well, let me say, we're grateful to be a very, very organized group, to the point that if we have to help out and share cost with lighting, Porta Johns, with other league, we're also willing to do that. And you know, in order to make things work.
Okay, so you understand the liability insurance, I imagine you
Yes, we
guys have that?
Liability insurance,
Yeah.
starting February 15, I believe.
Okay.
So,
And also a deposit is needed, right? Need a
Correct.
deposit, and rosters will be required. And are you going to have a need for lights in any of these?
we have budgeted for our own lighting.
Okay, you're going to
So
bring your
We'll
own.
be doing the same thing that the Chargers are doing, just to keep things simple. So we budgeted for 2 light sets as needed.
So they won't have any
So
need
you
to
bring
deal
your
with
own
the light, the other lighting issues that we had last year?
no,
No, we thought about.
We thought about-
Going to be independent, huh?
And as far as the storage of equipment, we will be using 2 16x9 trailers to bring our equipment to the field, and then taking it away each night.
Okay.
So once everything gets put away, it will be taken away
Yeah.
too. So we won't be leaving anything behind.
Anybody else have any questions?
What about bringing the trailer inside the field? Don't we have a problem with that before?
With the irrigation and stuff?
But we will leave it at the parking,
got it.
For example, at
Yep.
Lead English, we leave it
Yeah.
on that side.
That sounds
and then
better.
Take on the inside.
Portable trailers. They're
Not big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Containers,
I
yeah.
think Jimmy's concern is you won't ever need to drive them on the field anywhere, so you'll leave them.
No, no. Which also, whatever we decide to play our games, we're hoping to be able to paint the field and maintain the grass there.
Maintain the
Make
field.
it look nice if that's
All
okay.
proper maintenance that needs to be done, we've budgeted that in and we can make
Yeah.
the field.
and we'll
take
coordinate that with Jeff Stoll.
Yes.
And Mike
Okay.
D'Agostino, yes.
And we do have, one of the things that Adidas wants to do, once they find out that we're painting the field, is that they want to sponsor that as well. But because we haven't closed the whole loop of how it's going to work out, we haven't agreed to that part. So we're sticking with the contractors that give us quotes on painting the field and making it nice for us.
Things change, we can always, that'll be part of sponsorship where Adidas will help paint the fields for us and help us maintain.
You might be able to piggyback on some of the other people that paint for different reasons down there, right?
Okay.
The soccer field, do they paint, or what do they do? They just put down chalk, or what do they do?
They painted.
They paint too. So there may be an opportunity there, so.
Okay. Yeah, because I believe they use the same amount of yardage.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions, or is there a motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
No, second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, gentlemen, good luck with your
Good luck.
venture.
Very much.
Good luck.
Very impressive. You've done a good job putting this
Nice
together.
job.
Thank you for your time. For this.
And thanks for keeping the lights on. All your motions kept them.
That's what we do, we keep the lights on.
Very good.
Good luck.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Felix Martinez, President of Los Trinitarios, did I say that right? Trinitario. Oh, you don't say the S. The S is silent.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
What's going on?
See
See,
your future. On behalf of the Trinitario Soccer League, we wish you the best. Yes. As every year, here we are again, 2018. We try to promote sport. Once again, for all the young adults in the city of Phoenix, average like 80. So we need to use Monday and Wednesday. I know there were some issues with the date, and I know that I threw some other dates there, but it's because sometimes we have difficulty with raining, football, and sometimes get extended just a little bit more. But if it's not gonna be an issue, we can probably go whatever we did last year without a problem. I have some concern about the football team. I just want to say though that we are registered as a non-profit organization,
Yep.
the Trinitarios, and we are affiliated with both chambers. And we have the NC, I can get that, I got treasurer, you know, working on that. But it's like, you know, I say non-profit organizations, same thing. My concern about, and this is something that we see like every year when they are practicing football, it's kids running around. So you got guys like 30, 23, 25 years old, you know, running around outfields and infields. Sometimes we have to stop the game. There's guys that I don't play because I don't pay attention to all these little details around the field. So that concerned me because there's been a couple of occasions that he's running into the field and I'm afraid of maybe one of them going to get hurt. So.
well, I'm sure we can make sure that's known to them to, you know, keep the kids in a designated area, because wouldn't want to see one of your guys chasing a fly ball out there and knocking over, running into a kid, you know?
And in terms of working things out with these guys, I think, you know, we had a pretty good open field. If they're going to be practicing on Wednesdays, they, you know, I mean, they can probably, we can make the adjustments. We can work it out. We did it last year, before last year, we do it every year. You know, so I don't think we have a problem with the fact that if they want to, you know, as long as they don't have a game, because if they have a game, then, you know, Monday or Wednesday, it's going to be a problem.
Yeah. No, their games are going to be Fridays.
So we don't.
So it's on,
Yeah.
the only night it would interfere would be Wednesday night, but we wouldn't put him down at.
And they have practice that night, right?
Yeah, practice night, yeah.
So I don't think it
I
would be a
mean,
problem.
and you're from 4 to 8, but.
Yeah.
And they're from 6 to 8. So we have to
I mean-
we're gonna have to put everyone in the same room together and coordinate schedules. So
Yeah.
there's no interference.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we did that before and it
Yeah.
worked out, having everyone around the table that had permission.
I think we can make it work.
Absolutely. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to ask, you know, to move the league because then they're going to cost some money with the lights.
Yeah.
So I don't have the budget that they have.
You know, and Papuana starts the first week in August, and that's something that we'll have to reach out to Papuana and Lynn Charges about practicing and the kids running.
Yes.
Because they have designated areas, and that's the areas that they're supposed to be.
Actually, that's one of the reasons why I thought they had like a couple more days extras because there were, I think it was, you know, a few days that we couldn't play because they were there. So we kind of skipped. I think it was on a Wednesday. I can recall what day it was, but we had to stop playing because, you know, the kids that were playing, and that's why, you know, the extra days. But I think, you know, we can manage, you know, and the league, and, you know, by the 19th, hoping for now have a lot of rain this year. So.
Otherwise, you're gonna have to do double headers.
See, this is the thing, when we do a doubleheader, you know, it costs more money. That's what I'm trying to avoid.
I know.
So, yeah.
And Felix, and you know you get a permit, we give you a permit every year, and it has to be displayed on site at the park and everything.
Right.
That goes with all leagues, that goes with football and little leagues. They all have permits that they have to display. And I know we have some concerns down at Keeney Park about soccer leagues going down there, which they do not have a permit for. So if there's an issue, then you need to address it with,
I'll be calling you.
address it with us ASAP immediately, yeah. We're running into problems with that. People just think that they can go down and use the field. We had an issue down at Fry Park, we resolved the problem. It's working out great with St. Mary's and Lynn Park Softball Women's League. They go on after the teams are finished. So it's just, it's basically, the important thing is communication.
Communication, yeah,
And that's it,
absolutely.
and that's where it resolves, and, you know, people need to, if they want to use a city park, they need to put a letter in writing to the Park Commission requesting the use of a facility. Down at Neptune Boulevard, same thing. We have high school soccer leagues down there. At one time, we had the Lynn Chargers down there. And then we had this group that just showed up and ran their own program down there, and they were giving the coaches a hard time. So people need to have permits to, on park fields.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'll let you know. Now I'm gonna be counting my field. Permit? No, Lisa, got a problem.
That's right, absolutely.
And that happened, and I did go down to Fry Park one night,
And took care
and
of
I
it.
took care of the situation, because they were out there on the field, and St. Mary's had soccer practice, and they were right in the middle of the field interfering, and it was the girls' soccer team, you know, so.
Do they have a, like a permit, the paper?
Yes, we have permits. Susan
sometime,
prints, and that Susan prints out a permit to all participants.
Not this year.
You know?
Well, I make sure that I'm going either before the 19th. That's your last day of work.
Probably this Friday.
I'll be there Friday morning.
I'll have your permit ready for you.
So we aren't, the season has to end by the 19th?
Usually we give them to the end of the month, just to finish up for rain dates.
Okay.
And it's not really, he doesn't interfere with anyone,
Okay.
basically, because,
I don't think we're gonna stay there until the end of the month, but just in case.
Yeah, just in case you get rainouts and stuff like that.
That way I don't have to ask
Okay.
for another permission, you know?
As long as you communicate with them.
Yes, I will.
yeah. He knows the 19th, but just in case of
Yeah.
rain
Just in
dates,
case.
that's it.
Because if she has to call you in, then you got to face us, and you know how tough we are.
Listen, I don't want the woman to call me. I don't care when I call her. I know that.
Okay. Are there any more questions from the board? Motion to approve?
I'll make the motion.
Yeah, I'll second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay.
Happy New Year.
Good luck.
Happy New
All the
Year.
best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah.
So as has been mentioned a couple times, Susan is retiring on January 19th. So we're gonna, I'm sorry to see you go. She has kept me in line. She does all the research for
too.
me. She sends me paper. She,
On
you know,
top of
it's, how
everything.
long have you been doing this for us?
Over 16, over, I believe, probably 15 years.
Wow. To her, it probably seems like longer than that.
Right, right.
Well, I want to wish you luck, luck in your retirement, and I'm sure that you won't miss work once you're gone, so.
I may.
Congratulations, thank you, and thank you very much. Is there any other business to come before the commission? Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you very much.
Good luck, Sue.